Well, good afternoon. It's my pleasure as president of NJACTE to give the closing remarks. My name is John Henning, and I'm dean of the school at Monmouth University. And I wanted to say that in recent years, NJACTE has established a tradition of hosting an assessment conference, which we call the Day of Assessment. And I'm so grateful to Amy Klein and Ashley Restaino for continuing this tradition and for organizing this helpful event this year. I believe it serves as a visible symbol of how NJACTE members have responded to the crisis that was engendered by the pandemic with ingenuity, innovation, compassion, and equity for all. One clear goal has emerged from today's experience for me, and that goal is this. Someday, when I grow up, I want to be as organized as Amy and Ashley are. I had the privilege of witnessing the planning for this event, and it was a textbook example of efficiency. Amy and Ashley also showed they can adapt at a moment's notice. For example, when Peggy Mackey canceled a couple weeks before the conference, and also we saw the keynote session this morning. With emerging leaders like these two, I can say confidently that the future of NJACTE is in good hands. It's been an exciting day, beginning with Linda Susky's talk about the practical, feet-on-the-ground approach to assessment. Her talk kept us focused on why assessment is important and how to make it most effective by always keeping in mind that it is a tool that can be used to make improvements in what really matters: curriculum, student performance, and all the other things we do. I particularly liked her practical tips. Thank you, Linda, for sharing your expertise with us, for your dedication to promoting a better understanding of assessment, and for your continued search for better approaches to assessment. And also thanks so much to Marie Farrell and her team at Watermark for sponsoring Linda's talk and their continued support of the Day of Assessment Conference. After Linda's keynote, we experienced a day of different approaches to assessment. Thanks to all the presenters for their presentations on assessment topics that linked assessment to the curriculum, to development, social justice, accreditation, formative assessment, the use of technology to facilitate assessment, and how to be an assessment leader by taking an overall look at your program. I so appreciated the passion and the expertise of today's speakers. Among our presenters, we especially want to thank Dr. Chris Cook, Dr. Melina Monaco, President and Vice President of CAPE, and Dr. Mark Lascelles-Peterson, President of AQUIP, for taking their time to continue their work with the field on accreditation. Thanks to the Planning Committee for reviewing and selecting today's presentations, including Vicki Cohen, Anna Maria Schulman, Jason Barr, Karen Fasanella, and Tracy Mulvaney. Also thanks to the NJACT Executive Committee for their support, with an especial thanks to Stacy Leftwich for handling expenses and transactions. There were many takeaways from today's sessions, not just the what of assessment, but the who and why, and how to provide consistent and meaningful feedback, how to make learning a two-way street with our PT12 partners, and recognizing that quality is local, and the importance of those partnerships for collaboration, stakeholder involvement, and shared responsibility for professional judgment. For example, our colleagues at William Patterson shared how they collaborated across their advanced programs to meet the CAPE standards through shared readings and committee meetings. They were able to come together as a college to meet their common goals for assessment. Our colleagues at TCNJ shared how they are using video technology for students to submit assignments to demonstrate learning. And because of the positive experience, they plan to continue the practice even after classes go back in person. Our colleagues at St. Peter's University spoke about how interactive whiteboards can be used to increase student engagement and facilitate assessment. And our colleagues at Felician University showed us how to foster social justice and educational equity through assessment. For me, the big takeaway sessions was the huge reservoir of knowledge that lives through NJACTE. When we share what we know and when we collaborate to reach our shared goals, it expands our knowledge both individually and collectively. Today was a wonderful display of NJCTE's collective knowledge. Individually, I hope you were able to share your passion and or take away what you needed to know about assessment from today's conference. Thank you so much for coming, for engaging, and for sharing. It really was a pleasure to spend the day with you. And ordinarily, I would wish you a safe drive home, but clearly that isn't needed. Instead, enjoy the rest of the afternoon and enjoy a great evening with your family. Thanks again for coming, and we'll see you next year at the next day of assessment conference.